Hi there, my name is Eline Powell. I play Rin on Siren, and I'm talking to Chris Gordon from Hellblazer Biz.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, listeners, wherever you are in the world right now. You are tuned into Hellblazer Biz with your host, as always, me, Chris Gordon. I appreciate each and every one of you, so if you're joining for the first time to listen to this interview, thank you very much, and I hope you stay tuned to listen to more. For those of you who've been with me since the beginning, and those who've joined along the way, thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate each and every one of you. And for those of you who are new, don't forget you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, TuneIn.com, Spotify, Podbean, and more. Just search for Hellblazer Biz and you will find and subscribe and listen to all these amazing interviews. Anyway, enough of that. This week I have a fantastic guest for you. It's from a show which I have fallen in love with. I started to watch it and I saw it in the Sci-Fi channel here in the UK and I thought, this has got something about it. And when I started watching it, I could not stop. That show is Siren. And I am more than honoured to have been able to chat with Eline Powell, who plays Rin in the show. She is the main mermaid who comes in and starts to challenge everything that people know. Anyway, without further ado, I hope you all enjoy this interview I had with Eline. And she'll be back for season 2, so stay tuned. Everyone, I have the honour and the privilege of the company of Eline Powell today. So, hi again, Eline.
Hi there.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to be here. Virtually.
Yeah, virtually, yeah. The pleasure's all mine. It's absolutely fantastic that you're on, and I really do appreciate it. As I say, Siren has become one of my favourite shows at the moment, so I've been avidly watching.
Oh. I'm so glad. I'm still so amazed when people are so positive about it. So I always love, discovering and meeting people who are fans of Siren.
Yeah, no, it is. It's such a different show. I mean, I spoke to Renna 2 weeks ago, and I spoke to
my love. Yeah.
Yeah, she was really great, very teasy. With what she could tell me as well. And I spoke to her. She's good. She could be like a proper spy or something. She would not give up our government secrets. She wouldn't, would she?
Fantastic.
I tried, but she just would not give. I spoke to Hannah Levine as well last week, because that was another one, so I had a chance to speak to her too, so it's great.
Aren't they all so nice?
You are.
They're all just the nicest people, aren't they?
They are, and I wouldn't say they, because it's you. You'd class yourself in that as well. So.
Well, it's hard to talk about oneself, but I will gladly say that Hannah and Raina are amazing, and I love them dearly.
Yeah, they're great people. As I was saying, it seems to be a great cast for that, which is fantastic that you all gel, and you're also.
Oh.
So.
Honestly, we do, and it's such a rare thing to sometimes, you just get thrown together and you make the best of it, and everybody's always civil, I'm sure, but with us it was really like, man, you guys are so great, and you're like this and you're that, and we really kind of became a little family over there. So I just love them all.
Yeah,
I think everybody knows this from all of us, but we, bring a message out.
Excellent. I know Renna mentioned that. I think because she said she wasn't going to be in as many scenes as you and Ian and everyone, so she basically was the social organizer for you all. She told me. So
yeah, Yeah, because in season one, I was like, you know what, we need to be as tight as we can, and we should meet up and get to know one another. But obviously, time, and she was fantastic. She just brought everyone together and organized the meetups and hangouts at night or during the weekend. She was definitely our she was the prime organizer of social community bonding times.
Excellent. I mean, obviously, I'm going to congratulate you as well, because you've got a second season of Siren, so you must be so.
I know. Oh my God, I was over the moon when I found out, because it's one thing to be employed in this industry. You already feel so happy, but on top of which, for me, this is my favorite job I've ever done. I'm just so in love with every single aspect of it. So when I found out we're going for a season 2, I was truly, truly over the moon. Very happy.
Excellent. And it is, I think all the fans were as well, to be honest.
Yes, they seemed excited too.
Yeah, they seem
to put it mildly. Yes.
Yeah,
we have the best fans.
Yeah, they are. They're really fantastic fans.
I'm obviously biased, but I dare say Siren fans are just the best, sweetest fans ever.
There's no bias there at all, is there?
No.
But you are right, and it is great that obviously everyone's the support that you've had as a show and everything like that. I mean, did you think it would be such a big hit when you started out?
Gosh, no. I mean, not in the sense that I didn't think it wouldn't be, but more that, you try to protect yourself, so you try to think neutrally, like, whatever happens with this show, we've put our heart and souls into it, we've put love into it, and who likes it, those who like it will like it, and those who hate it will hate it, and you just leave it up to fate. But so then to get the response we did and have such, my goodness, dedicated people, and even when the show wasn't even out yet, just based on the trailers, it was just mind-blowing, and I just love how they follow the theories and discuss it, and who they're with or against, depending on what episode, and the bits they really found magical. I've just been a bit overwhelmed, really, by first of all how many people responded to it, and secondly the dedication with which they responded to it. Like, just a real kind people, it seems. To me, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got an entire wiki site as well created for it too.
Which is amazing. There's so many things that I've been new to and discovered, and like I said, I'm already a little bit. I'm very, I'm there on social media, but it's still a little bit of a new thing for me in the sense that being an active presence on it is a little bit new. So I'm trying to do my best to be there and help. But I think everyone knows I'm not the most, the most on it all the time. They're like, why aren't you replying, or why aren't you posting this? So that's I can improve on that a bit.
No problem. It's that's how things go. I was actually going to ask as well, because social media seems to be such a big connection, and you are very kind to all your fans on there, and so is everyone else on the cast as well. Do you think having the connection to the fans is important to the success of the show?
I don't know if it's important, but as in the number one important factor, but I definitely think
a factor to it.
Quite a nice, a factor to it, in the sense, it's quite nice, but we can get a little bit closer to the people that like it, right? I think on some level, I think a little bit of mystery is nice, because you want to believe in the world. So sometimes it's nice to not get to know the human side, to pun intended, too well. But I think it's really nice that we can talk to our fans a little bit, or have some sort of interaction. Especially, I've enjoyed that very much when people go on, I'm mostly Instagram, really, but when people, and Twitter too, but mostly Instagram, when people go on there and say something really nice about the show or Rin or whatever, I really, really appreciate them. I think, my God, they took time out of their day to say these things and come find me.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed they are letting me know basically and what they're responding to. So I think it's not the number one factor, but I think it's definitely a very nice feature that is available in this day and age.
Yeah,
basically.
It's a nice little addition, an extra. And I do. I mean, I remember of a few fandoms like that where there's like the likes of Lucifer and things where, there's a symbiotic relationship in the end between the cast and the fans, because it's just like you say, we'll come on and mention stuff, you guys will respond, and it's just, I think that response sometimes, when someone gets a response from someone like yourself, for example, the elation that it can make, I think it can really make someone's day. So it's things like that.
Oh, no, I get it. I've contacted sometimes, you watch something and you're so annoyed, you just want to write something to whoever was involved to say, well done. And to then get a response back, I felt it too. It's a really rewarding feeling. So, yeah, I think you're right. It is quite a fun thing to have, especially internationally, right? There's
definitely.
So many different countries now when you sell a show more than just in America or England or wherever. It's nice to have that platform to sort of, because I've seen a few people been, from really, really all over the place, different countries who are watching it, and that's always really nice to find out about.
I can imagine
those things.
Definitely. I mean, you're no stranger to shows which have got global hits either, because I mean, I know you played Bianca in 2 episodes of Game of Thrones as well.
Yes.
Which is, to be fair, that's got to be. It's probably got to be
full 30 seconds. Yeah, but the show is the Game of Thrones itself is amazing, and their fans are very, very dedicated and worldwide now. So I was very honored to be part of such a big thing and such a successful thing. But it was interesting to see how those sort of the lead actors, I imagine the world must be quite different to, I mean, my God, everywhere they go, it's...
some of them, I mean...
Everyone knows the show. It's insane. But yeah, I was very honored to be part of it.
Excellent. Well, yeah, no, I mean, that is a big show. I bumped into a couple. I was at a comic convention on Saturday myself. There's a few people there from Game of Thrones all the time, and it's a great thing to actually. I actually met 3 guests who've been on my show for the first ever time, so it's nice to meet people.
Really?
It's nice to meet people face to face for once. It's like, well, hey.
Oh, maybe. And was it did you talk to them recently? Or was it a while ago?
I think 2 were last year, but I talked to one on Facebook quite a lot anyway. He was in Star Wars, so I talk to him now and then. And the other one was Amy Garcia. She's in Lucifer at the moment. She's in Dexter. So I got to meet her finally.
So cool. It's so nice you stay close to them. That you're like retain a relationship.
Yeah. So be warned.
So be warned, when I see you in the Comic-Con, you better say hi to me.
Oh, yeah. You'll see me, yeah, and say, be warned, I will now keep in contact with you now.
Yeah, I'm Chris Gordon.
Yeah.
Just listen to my voice. Maybe you recognize it.
Exactly. Remember? Oh, brilliant. I mean, there's another thing. I mean, you're not averse to playing sirens either. I mean, I've not seen the film King Arthur, but I believe you were a siren in that film as well. It's sort of a
honestly, I don't know what... Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I found my niche or something completely by accident. I mean, to be fair, the sirens in King Arthur, they have tentacles and they are very much an antagonist, like a proper pure sort of evil. There's no shades of, they're very straightforward one thing. But still, I'm like, gosh, if you want some sort of mythical water creature, come see Eline Powell.
Exactly.
I don't know what that. I'm happy with this niche casting though. I would love if the rest of my career is just that. I wouldn't even object to that. But I think Siren and Bryn in particular is a much more colourful siren in that respect.
True. And I mean, what other profession and what other role would you be able to hug a seal? Because that's a sea lion. Because that was absolutely.
Did you say? a sea lion or something.
Yeah, you hug. I mean, that's Rin, obviously Rin cuddling the sea lion. That was just
that. Honestly, when I had to do that, it was my favorite moment on the whole in the whole time I was there. I had to practice a few days before and rehearse with these sea lions, and because you have to get used to your scent, and so they're calm and stuff. Because obviously they're still very wild animals. They listen maybe to some things of the trainer, but ultimately they're very, very, they're still in their primal state. And I just loved it. I loved rehearsing with them. In the beginning, first, we didn't know whether Hazy's the name of the sea lion, whether we would do her kissing Rin or hugging Rin. So the first couple of rehearsals were with a kiss. It was amazing. You feel so in awe of nature, of what, you feel so like, what are we doing thinking we're anything above any creature on this planet? Like, they're all amazing in their own right. Yeah. So, long story short, I loved that moment very much.
I mean, I did see that on your social media when you posted all that, and that was true. That was truly a special moment, and it's one that I think everyone's hearts just melted when they saw that on screen.
Honestly, so this is a bit. Anyway, I'll just tell you. So for the rehearsal, I rehearsed, right? Yeah. I rehearsed a full day, and then on set, and Rin isn't really supposed to smile. It's quite an unusual emotion for Rin, but I could, for the life of me, not help it. I could just not smile. It was the weirdest thing, and the director was just like, you know what, we'll keep it. Because you have to be mindful of the animals can't do many takes, Like, I'm so sorry, my face just pulls this way. I can't help it. So I think I try to hide it, but you'll see from certain angles this tiny little smile because I was just way too happy about it all. Another person that did that was David, who plays Jerry on the show. That guy is so funny. When we're in the party and he smashes the beer and he just he is so he's such a happy person. I kept wanting to smile and I had to cut back and stuff. Anyway, Jerry and the sea lion, and they are very they can make you smile just within 3 seconds of you meeting them.
I was in holiday in Scotland recently, and there were some seals there with my son. He called them Billy and Bob. They were wild seals in the harbour. But every day every day they just come up to you. I'll send you a picture of one actually on a message. But yeah, they used to come right up to you swimming up because they used to get fed at 5 o'clock every day. So they were so used to food.
Oh my God!
So you just watch them.
Seals.
Yeah, they're just amazing creatures.
Yeah. And so unbelievably, like they draw you in so much with it. It's almost like one of their natural defenses was looking cute or something, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know how anybody could not. Maybe that's just me being a little bit, weak in the knees and soft-hearted or whatever. But they're just so darn cute, and yet at the same time, you don't want to mess with them. Right, they're still quite powerful little creatures. Exactly. I love that your son called them Billy and Bob. That's so sweet.
I know, yeah. I think it's just a running joke from when we were in America. I can't remember something called Billy Bob, so we just called it Billy and Bob.
Billy Bob. Yeah. Did you say it with an American accent, like Billy Bob?
Oh yeah.
Like make it real cowboy.
I used to do when we went on holidays to America. I was doing that to him. I was like, "Oh, my name's Billy Bob." He was just like, "Oh, he's in hysterics."
Oh, amazing. Oh, bless him.
Excellent. So
sweet.
I mean, he is, and it's so it seems like you say they've got that cuteness, the big massive eyes that just stare at you. It's
so I think it's the eyes mainly, right? The big round black eyes, and then that little furry. Oh gosh darn it! Yeah, I have to, restrain and not go up and want to touch them.
Yeah,
they would hate that, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. They're just gorgeous creatures. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting here reminiscing of them now as well. Cool. At Claire24, she's at Call the Mid Balf. I've got to get that right. Call the Mid Balf on Twitter. She says, "Do you have to work a lot for Rin's voice because it's so realistic?" Assumes that was really hard.
No. I did spend a lot of time on that, actually. I found that I was thinking a lot about how she would sound with language, because she hears everything, from her surroundings, Ben and Maddie and things like that. But I thought if she copies it directly as a parrot, she'll come across a bit almost like an AI, like a robot a little bit. So I thought, how do I not make it look like that? And so I played around a lot with the fact that she is new to her body and new to air and new to human sounds. So everything had to be the first time she formed a vowel in her mouth, or the first time she formed any kind of sound and word in her mouth felt weird to her, and she had to I played a lot. When if you had to learn a language for the first time, one that's very, very different to yours, say Chinese or Mandarin or something like that. The sounds, we're not used to making them, so our face is really exaggerating the way we maybe say a simple word. So similar to that, I just tried to pretend like everything was for the first time, and it was hard to do. And then I really loved Björk's accent, Icelandic accent. And obviously I couldn't take Björk's pure Icelandic accent, because then it's like, why is she Icelandic? But there was a little element, right? But there was a little element of it that was really nice, which coincided with what I wanted to do for Rin already, which was this breathy sound. So when you have that, like that apple or something, it goes that, like she does an exhale after every hard consonant at the end. And and then it all mixed together and played around, and then so Rin is sort of a mixture of making sounds for the first time with a mouth, a little bit of Icelandic, and then here and there, and as she progresses, she takes over a few American, like she'll end up saying party in the end rather than party or something, which is Icelandic. Anyway, that's a really boring actor monologue that nobody's interested in hearing.
No, it's not at all.
You don't feel the need to divulge all of that. I guess the simple term is it's just everything was newly formed in the mouth and a little bit of breathy hints of Icelandic in there.
Excellent. See, when you just did Rin's voice then, you see that just sent shivers down me as well.
It makes you feel, it's really weird. I could sometimes freak out my family a little bit, though, if I tune into her little language. They just go, ew, get out. Where's the lead?
Oh no, I find it really, I think what's really endearing is the language and the speech. It's just brilliant, and it's really sort of draws you in even more, because you're with Rin as she's learning, and she's overcoming, like I say, language barriers and stuff like that, and it's very, very good from my point of view as well. Obviously, just saying that's what I mean. That's what I mean when it sent chills. It was just like, wow.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm so pleased. I loved finding her. I loved just trying to discover these little things, and luckily I never tried to think, what will people think, because then you stop yourself and you're scared of trying anything. But it was just so much fun, and I'm really, really happy people read and respond to it and stuff. And also, Sibo, for instance, she might have had a different approach, but she's also equally mesmerizing, and who plays Donna. Yeah. So there's different ways of approaching this. I'm not saying my way is the way, but I'm very, very happy that you instantly see Rin again with just that. That's great.
No, it's fine. It's brilliant to just to listen, and and hear it all. It's just, as I say, because I actually finished watching, so I got myself fully up to speed, so I could chat to you today without any spoilers.
Oh, bless you. Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. Good you said that. Otherwise I would have...
No, it's fine. Don't worry. Yeah. No, but it's I'm fully up to speed, so it's that we can talk away as much.
Oh,
as
okay. And you've seen the finale as well.
I have, yeah. Oh, what a heartbreaker that was.
Yes. Okay, so I was just... no, thank God you just mentioned that, because I don't want to ruin anything for you. Okay, so we can have a full-blown conversation.
Yeah,
okay.
No, that's cool. At Alexasaurus Rex on Twitter says he would like to know what your inspirations are to physically and mentally play Rin. Kind of follows on from where we've just been.
Ooh, yeah. There were many, really. I felt a little bit like a kid in a playground who just, I could just go for it and find the funnest things to do. But for instance, to a nice extension from what I was just saying is to that breathiness.
Yeah.
And obviously in the beginning couple of episodes, Rin doesn't talk much. So I was like, how, and her facial expressions aren't really human. They're not detailed yet and anything like that. She's like, gosh, how do we feel anything when she's frustrated or calm or anxious? And that's where the physicality came in a lot, and I really loved with whales and dolphins and even sea lions.
Yeah.
I mean, with sea lions it's different, but with whales and dolphins, the exhale blowhole, actually, the air that comes out of it, it's so powerful and really kind of, I thought, expressive. Like if I, obviously to another dolphin it's not, but as a human reading a dolphin, I'd go, oh, they seem... A whale instantly seems calm because it's long and it just goes out. And for a dolphin, it's maybe, not that. It's just their sounds are different or whatever. I just loved exhaling air. Seemed to be such a fun thing to do. So I just played around with that, and that's where Rin's little came from. Whenever she can't quite express what she feels or there's something, she just exhales a bit of air to get that out.
Yeah.
And then I looked at lots of different animals. I loved, for instance, how jaguars and cheetahs, they could stare they have this stare, this really impressive stare with their eyes. And when they blink, it's very slow, which I just looked at nature documentaries for that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting because you get drawn in, even though, the expression doesn't change their face, but just because their eyes are so prominent, you're drawn in there, which I thought was really interesting. And then I went to quite a lot of aquariums, and there were a lot of, when you watch small fish mainly, when they move around, they very, very, they come across very nervous, right?
Yeah.
Because, the eyes on the side of the head. So they literally flick about every 2 seconds to look at something. If you generally focus in on one tiny little fish, I mean, you get nervous for them. They and I was like, wow, that's quite a good expression of saying how, you're not comfortable or something, or which, fish are. But I'm just trying to think of ways that humans interpret movement or things like that. And that's where, especially in the first episode, when Rin's just in this new world and there's a high stake, she needs to find someone and she's discovering all these new things. That's where a lot of that sort of jerky movement came from. Okay. And I mean, I could go on and on. I could write a book about it, but like I said, this is so boring to everybody.
It's not boring anyway. This is what people want to know. This is what we want to know.
I'll just keep it to like a couple of little mentions of things here and there. There's like a whole other process that went on about if you're normally from water and then you go onto land. What are the physical? I mean, biological. Physics, those kinds of differences.
Because you're all buoyant in the water, going to gravity, yeah.
Exactly. Differences, how you perceive distance, smell, and things. And what does that mean when you're in the complete opposite of that world? How does that affect your body and things like that? But that is very boring. So I'm just going to keep it to some blowhole exhalings I thought were interesting. Cheetahs and jaguars were very interesting.
Yeah.
And just the agility of fish, the very swift movement. It's also, if you have cage an animal or corner, and especially a land mammal like a cheetah, let's say, it's the fact that they're still and then they make quick movements that scares you. Or why spiders, it's because of the way how quick they move that you get a bit frightened. Speed tends to frighten us a bit because we can't quite,
Yeah.
It's unpredictable, basically. Anyway, and then at the same time, there's a majestic silence and peace of a big sea mammal or something like a whale or an orca. So this question is dangerous. This question is very dangerous. I could go on forever. So I'm going to stop here and stop me now.
No, it's absolutely. It's absolutely just fascinating listening to how much research and how much effort you went in to make Rin. Now that's and I think that does come across so much, and I think that mixed with
bless you.
You forgive me for saying this. You have got a very unique beauty. You are absolutely astonishingly stunning, and with the context obviously for Rin that you have to put in there, it just makes it. And I say with the movements, with how you've learned how to, like we've just gone through, all those different. It
all contributes.
It does. It all comes absolutely perfect. And it makes it,
my face I didn't have to do much work on, obviously. My face was just, that's just genetics. But yes, all the other stuff was, I know, I disappeared for a couple of weeks and, I was very weird for many, many days. But yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's kind of one of the things that drew me into it as well as the show was obviously when you came out of the water that first time, it's like, this is different. This is it was great. Okay, I've got at Mike Salem 28 and CJ Stanley 20 would like to know, what do you think Rin will feel towards Xander for killing her sister?
Ooh,
interesting
very good question. Obviously, what will happen and what the truth is, the actual answer to that question is obviously a writer's question.
Yep.
I can't. What I'm about to. Anything that I say now is,
speculation.
Speculative. Yeah, speculation. It's not certain. But if I had to have my guess underlined, I would say that even though Rin is extremely hurt by this, and definitely she will feel less warm towards Xander than, say, Ben or Maddie, I think she has seen the killing for revenge just leads to more bloodshed. I think she's seen that. She said that, in one of the earlier episodes to her sister, like, I don't want to kill anymore. Like, there's no point.
Yeah.
And I think that will only have been confirmed by the fact that her sister now got hurt. I think she can see sort of the connections of pain begets pain, revenge begets revenge. Like, it will be a never-ending cycle if she feeds into that. But to say that she's completely hunky-dory with Xander, I don't think it's quite that either. I think she's just trying to find a balance between keeping the peace and trying to learn from maybe mistakes that have happened before. That would be sort of my guess, but like I said, it's definitely a writer's question.
Yeah, and it's nothing that you just said is official. It's just your interpretation of how you think. So I'll say that clear. I'll make that clear as well. So no one can get any misconceptions.
Yes, exactly. Because it would probably. I like I said, I haven't even read the scripts for season 2, so it's not even like I can give you. Crazy spoilers. But yes.
Exactly. Virtual Tracer, sirens inhabit mermaids inhabit other parts of the world. So are we going to see the other great mermaid communities on the show, do you think? Because that's another writer's question, really.
It's another writer's question, but I will say that as I would just love it. I would love to see mermaid communities. I'd be the number one pro for this storyline. So who knows? Fingers crossed that they do. I think that would be very interesting.
It would be. At Killer Marley Robert and at Krish Sholva, sorry for my pronunciation of these, Krish Sholva, there's some Twitter names out there which are great. These just wanted to actually just ask a question of, are you a real mermaid? Because they said watching you on Siren gives them chills. You were born to act and too good to be human.
Oh, so sweet. What do I say?
No, you're not.
I'm not. I wish I was. I really wish I was. But thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I love that you think I'm real.
And the other ones there's two others here from Mitch1353 and H. Pinheiro. Both said the same thing. They just wanted to know how you stay so young because your skin's so beautiful. They want to know what your facial routine is. Because I said, whatever it is, it's working.
Oh, bless. How do I stay so young? I think I have to say part of it's probably genes. My mum is also is someone who always looked young. Like when I was 12, I probably looked like a fetus. I always just look very, very young as opposed to what I'm supposed to look like. And I used to find it a bit annoying because, you want to be the same as other people, right? As your peers. But now as I'm getting older, I'm seeing the benefits. I guess I always put on sunscreen. Maybe that's a good tip.
That could be.
The highest one, SPF 50.
Wow.
Maybe that's yeah.
Well, you don't want those razors,
maybe that's
they're dangerous.
A good tip. I don't know what the secret. Oh, my mind is young. I have absolutely no embarrassment behaving really silly and believing in the magical or being a geek. Maybe that has an effect.
That could
a
well
young
be.
mind and good genes.
A young mind's always good. That's what excuse I used because I'm 42. People just think I'm about 25 or 26 sometimes when they see me. I actually got told that about 2 or 3 years ago. I was wrestling, and the other people in there were like half my age, but I was just trying to get fit. And they all, when I told them my age, they were absolutely they're just overwhelmed because they said they literally thought I was about 25 or 26. And I was like, no, I just turned 39. So I was like, yes.
Oh my God, that must have made your day. Yeah, yes.
Oh,
indeed.
It did. Instant best friends.
Do you think you're instant best friends? That'll do it. And your secret too is you think having just a young mind a bit?
I think
is
so.
A good one?
I think it's definitely a good one. I think it is because my mind's very young and I love playfulness and goofing off and being a geek as well. See? I think that's the secret.
I think that's the secret. Let's promote that. Just think young. Love each other and just play and don't be afraid to, fit into the adult world. Just be youthful and playful.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Great way. At Willow Black 13. Oh, he'd like to ask, do you ad lib at all? And if so, has any of it made it into the show?
Oh, that's a good question. I have to say, the writers are so fantastic. They've written everything Rin says, especially my favorite is the okay, yes, they've come up with that. So their writing is fantastic. I didn't do any of that. However, there were some physical things that we sometimes added, like I think in episode 2, like the grabbing of when Rin grabs Maddie's hair, and Sibo and I sort of played around with the mermaid hug a little bit. Maybe some things, maybe in that sense, we contributed a little bit of improvisation and I mean, we thought about it and stuff. It wasn't just silly. But the writing, that's really the writers. They're really amazing at it.
Fantastic.
It's more little physical things that we sometimes put in.
Rather than vocal. That's really cool. And it's another great thing to hear, especially because it's nice to hear that you can throw things in and you learn as your seasons are going. You know your characters and you're expanding the depth of the characters some more as well, so you know where they're going.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Cool. Belle, who is at SOB Nomex, will season 2 find a way to break the spell of Rin's corner on Ben? What do you think the consequences could be?
What are the righteous question. I hope they do, because poor Ben. I mean, he's had it so tough, hasn't he?
I know.
I mean, this has just taken over his whole world, and he just started out wanting to help this creature that he found, and it's led to so much hardship. So I hope for him that perhaps he finds a way through this obsession, let's call it, or addiction, or whatever you want to name it, and that perhaps it clears up some of the it makes their relationship perhaps able to move forward better without that coming in between Rin and Ben, you know, so that they can know, does Ben like Rin? You know, is the song just so consuming, or does he, you know, I think there would be very interesting questions if he did manage to overcome it. But like I said, I don't know anything, so this is all just speculation.
Excellent. That's kind of the end of the fan questions there. Before I move on to my signature question, Eline, which I'm hoping you'll have some fun with. I think you will. And my signature question, Eline, I don't know if you've managed to listen to Renners or anyone, but this one is, I had a guest on my show. It's actually one of the ones I met for the first time face to face at the weekend, and he's been a Muppet character. He's been a Muppeteer, should I say, a puppeteer with Jim Henson for 30 years, and he's in Star Wars and things like that. Right. And one of the questions sent in for him, I loved it so much because, as I mentioned before, being the geek and the playfulness, I wanted to ask everybody this. So prepare yourself. Yeah. If you could have a Muppet created after you, what kind of character would it be, and why?
A Muppet created after you. Oh my God! Wait, so it can be any
Muppet. It can be new Muppet. It can be a mix of Muppets.
Oh, this is good. This is very, very good. A new Muppet. Oh, I better answer quick, eh? Okay. So my obvious boring answer would be, Muppet of Rin, you know, mermaid Muppet. But maybe that's too obvious. So I would love a Yoda Muppet mixed with Miss Piggy.
Oh, wow.
Because I think that sort of sums me up.
That is so uncanny, because that is exactly what Renner said.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, no, seriously. She chose Yoda with a bit of Miss Piggy.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Rena's okay.
You two,
I don't want to
take
Rena's up. Okay, so this just proves how much Rena and I love each other.
Yep.
We are so one mind. Okay, should I do it? Let's stay with the Rin Mermaid Muppet then, because I think Rin is kind of a funky character to have as a Muppet form. Okay, cool. Sorry.
It's all right.
I can't believe that.
I know, that's quite shocking. I was going to choose a Muppet character.
I'll tell her that when I next... I'm so going to tell her that when I next see her. That's crazy.
That is, guys, that was really quite funny. It's just, I just love that question. It was just one that come up, and I do my little Muppet impressions.
What's your answer? What's your answer?
Don't ask me. I don't know. I'd probably be more of... I think a Fozzie Bear and Gonzo, a mix between Fozzie Bear and Gonzo.
Ooh. Nice. Very nice.
Geeky, but bad with my jokes.
This question is so gonna that's gonna be my opening icebreaker question next time I meet someone. It'll tell me a lot about a person.
It does, it's a corker of a question, isn't it? I should be.
That's a good question.
It is. I mean, I should choose Kermit because it's the only one I can kind of do. Hello there, Eline. Where?
Yeah.
That's kind of Kermit.
Oh my God!
I used to sing.
Uncanny. See, you should definitely pick Kermit.
Yeah. See, he goes, "Why are there so many songs about rainbows?" That's my Kermit.
It's so good.
That's all
There you go.
Yeah.
You've got your Muppet sorted.
Cool. But no, it's a great question anyway. Just before I stop the recording for this, though, Eline, is there anything you'd like to say to people who are listening to you?
Oh, yeah. I sometimes forget that we're being listened to. And my voice has gone in very high decibels when I get
no, it's all right. No, this is a recording. It's not live. Don't worry.
Okay, thank God. Okay, so to you, I say I'm sorry for my high decibels. I just go very high pitched when I'm excited. To everybody is going to read it or listen or whatever, I just want to 100 million times over thank you for watching Siren and for being such a positive part of this whole experience. I love how much you support the actors, but also how into the story you are, and especially how much love there is for Rin. I love her too. I think she's way better than me, for starters, but she's just an awesome character. Credit to the writers, but she is an awesome character, and I'm deeply, deeply grateful that so many people are so kind about her and are watching the show and are dedicated fans. So big, big love and 1,000,001 thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Eline, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoyed listening to that. Apologies if there were any sound issues on that one. But yeah, please spread the word, retweet, send the link out, make sure as many people as you can hears this. Absolutely amazing chat with Eline from the awesome show that is Siren. Stay tuned as I reach out to more of the actors from Siren to bring them on as well. And also, now we've got a season 2, I should be welcoming back Eline and Renner, I definitely know as well, from season 2 when it starts as well. So please, make sure you follow and subscribe to Hellblazer Biz on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, Podbean, TuneIn.com, Spotify, and more. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been Chris Gordon chatting with Eline Powell on Hellblazer Biz.